this is the respiratory system. The heart would be around here on the left side. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a picture with the heart, but we're talking about breathing. But breathing and our heart are very much correlated. Um, to make it very, very easy, air goes in through the nose, down to the pharynx, down to the larynx, down to the trachea, all the way to the lungs. You don't need to know the names, but air goes from nose all the way down to the lungs. Lungs is where gas exchange occurs so that the heart can can deliver oxygen to the rest of our body, and for the lungs to expel carbon dioxide from our body, which is a waste product. It's still very, very important. But that is really all you need to know. The lungs, in order for them to expand, need muscles for them to expand. Okay. So we have muscles. This here is your diaphragm. And we also have muscles in between our ribs to expand our chest, which are called the intercostal muscles. So we need these muscles to breathe and bring oxygen into our body. Muscles are dumb on their own, like they're just muscle. They need nervous system innervation to actually work. So really, in order to breathe, in order for our lungs to fill, and in order for us to get oxygen in our system, which is necessary for all our processes, we need nervous system input. And so I'm just gonna leave it at that and then state how important our nervous system is, because it controls everything. Take your hands here and place it around here in your lower ribs. Females, it's the bra line. Males, just under your chest. And once your hands are here, take a deep breath in and notice what happens to your chest cavity. What is it doing? And obviously exhale as well. And notice what happens when you exhale. What happens to your chest cavity? And again, just do this a few times. Notice what happens on inhales and what happens on exhales. So if you've noticed, when we inhale, our chest expands, right? The chest expands when we inhale. So when this happens, the diaphragm actually moves down to create the space for the lung to inflate in our chest cavity. That's why it goes up. So, and obviously on the other side, when we exhale, our chest cavity also slows down so that we have that, it's the physics thing where we can exhale the air out. So when we exhale, our diaphragm moves back up to lessen the space in between our chest cavity. And this is very important because when we inhale, when the chest cavity is bigger, our heart just gets bigger because there's more space there. And when the heart gets bigger, the nervous system detects this and says, okay, the heart is getting bigger right now. We need to speed up. That's all. And obviously, on the other hand, when the heart gets squished a little bit when we're exhaling, nervous system detects that. The heart is smaller, nervous system goes, heart is smaller. Let's slow our heart down. This is very important because we can then start to control how our heart rate is. So if we are in sympathetic mode, fight or flight, what is happening to our heart rate? Is it up or down? Fight or flight? Up. That's right, up. Parasympathetic. Is our heart rate, especially shut down and freeze, up or down heart rate?
Up.
Down. Down. For parasympathetic, it's down because we're in freeze, we're in energy conservation mode. So you want to think of it as like the body's trying to be efficient with its resources, right? So if we're fighting or flighting something, we need all of our energy. So our body gets ready to it's upregulating, right? It's going, let's go. So everything is in movement. Parasympathetic, freeze, and actually we're not going to talk about freeze, shutdown, particular shutdown. We are when our body isn't shut down. Our body is pretty much like, I'm done. I have no energy. I am going to keep my resources and save it for survival. So it's going to slow down our heart so that it doesn't take up as much energy as necessary. Having said this, so when how we breathe influences our brain state, and our obviously our thoughts that we think also influences our heart and lung state, our breathing patterns. So in general, again, inhales speed up the heart, exhales slow down the heart. Inhale up regulate, exhale down regulate, to make it easier for you to remember. So if we want to increase our heart rate, then we focus on the inhales relative to exhales. If we want to decrease our heart rate, we focus on the exhales relative to inhales. And this is going to be very important for the breathing patterns that we're gonna use here. When we breathe in, speed up, exhale, slow down. And that kind of makes sense, right? Like all of you are like, yeah, that makes sense. So if we, just as an aside here, if we really want to, depending on what we want to do, we can leverage our breath, because breath is under both conscious and unconscious control. It's really one of the vital mechanisms that we have conscious control over. So if we want to intentionally do something, so for example, even you guys here, you are learning something, longer inhales than exhales. If you want to be more alert, you want to focus more, focus on the inhales. If you want to calm the nervous system down, then we focus on the exhales. So it really just depends on what you want to do and accomplish at that present moment in time. And we can use certain types of breathing patterns to help us.